What's going on, everybody? My name's Phil, and welcome to Yoshi's Painting. GW drops more of those gateway games today. Let's have a look. So here it is, friends. G-Dubs coming out with some new, what I like to call gateway games. These are effectively light versions of the core games to get people hooked into what inevitably will be a very long and expensive relationship between consumer and Games Workshop. First one up here is Blitz Bowl. This is almost like season 2 of Blitz Bowl. The original was humans versus dwarves, and this one is now humies versus Skaven. Blitz Bowl is kind of cool. It's a fast-paced, light version of oh my god, I can't believe I forgot the name of the football game. Anyway, Blood Bowl, thank you. And it uses a lot of cards to do some of the devious or core mechanic stuff versus all the rules and templates and bouncy balls and everything else that you get with standard full version of Blood Bowl. You do get 2 teams, although these teams are light in the form of, I want to say, 5 or 6 characters each. Whereas a normal Blood Bowl team can have significantly more, especially if you're in a league, because you have to have a bench to be able to sub players in when they get injured or killed. Pretty good. I'm going to guesstimate that this is going to be about $50. That seems to be the status quo for the gateway games that we've seen. Next up here, we've got Lost Relics, which is a light Warhammer quest. Looks pretty cool. You got 4 Stormcast and 1 Eagle. Going through like a light dungeon, light questy dungeon, looking for stuff or looking for a way out. The enemies, however, in this one, you only get the Stormcast models. You don't get any enemies. You can see enemies here shown as tokens. I'm venturing to guess that's how GW keeps this cheap, by only providing the minimal amount of miniatures to be able to get by. It does have a lot of cards and chits and whatnot. I'd be curious to know if you could use these particular character cards in the full-blown version of Warhammer Quest, if you have it, Silver Tower. It is kind of cool. You know, obviously this is not really a gateway to Warhammer Quest because it's not in production anymore, but more to Age of Sigmar. This gives you the board game-esque feel to it to get you ready for Age of Sigmar. It seems like a kind of cool little dungeon crawly thing. Maybe only 3 whole tiles. I'm venturing to guess that these are whole tiles that are divided up into separate rooms. And I don't know if it's roguelike where you generate dungeons or they're pre-constructed in the book that you're provided with the game. And finally, we have Combat Arena, which seems to be a Season 2 version of this game. I love the fact that they're saying that you're captured by Trays in the Infinite to go ahead and fight each other to the death. Yeah, right here it says the sequel to Combat Arena. I actually have the original Combat Arena, and it was pretty cool. It was all Inquisitors versus each other. The board was a little bit bigger. It seems that this one maybe stuck back down to bookshelf game size, so you can slap these up on the bookshelf like an IKEA Kalask bookshelf or something. The other one was larger. It was more square shaped and thinner than the other ones. We'll see how these play out. There's no mention of their availability and where you can pick them up. I know historically these were, in the US at least, these were Barnes & Noble exclusive titles. That was the only place you can get them, was Barnes & Noble, with the exception of Space Marine, which was their first foray into board game crossover games. that had a paint set and 2 expansions in the form of Space Marines that were the old collectible Space Marines that you could buy the single packs of, the mystery packs of. I believe that was release 1 and 2 of the different Space Marines, the Blood Angel, the Crimson Fist, etc., etc. We'll see how if these are going to be exclusive to Barnes and Noble as well. I don't know. Like I said, it doesn't mention anywhere in here. It doesn't even mention where you can get them off the website. It just says, here's some new stuff that you're going to be able to get, but it doesn't tell you where you're going to be able to get it from. So if it's Barnes & Noble, that's cool. I know that Space Marine managed to eke its way out of exclusivity through Barnes & Noble and went to Target. So we'll see if one of these does the same. If I had to venture to guess which one that was going to be, I would probably say Lost Relics, because that seems to have the most kind of open fantasy vibe that people would get into, more so than fantasy football, like literal fantasy football, or PvP combat type of game. But again, we'll see what happens. I myself have bought a number of these. I have let's see, Space Marine, Crypt Hunters, the first Combat Arena, the first Blitz Bowl. They're pretty fun. They're great little beer and pretzel games. Most of them are about a half hour, 45 minutes. If you've been in the hobby as long as I have, I'm a little long in the tooth in this hobby, you'll have the miniatures to be able to populate and replace some of these tokens to make it a little more immersive. Like the goblins and the orcs or whatever comes in this set. You'll be able to replace those chits with actual miniatures, which is pretty cool. And I wonder if something like this Combat Arena is backwards compatible with, would you be able to play the first season of Combat Arena's characters against these particular characters? Looks like you get a Terminator, a Nurgle Marine, a Necron Destroyer. No, I forget the name of the Necrons. The big fatty Necrons with a giant gun, and a Ultramarine Lieutenant or Captain. Maybe he's one of the big boys that finally got captured. At any rate, it'd be cool to see if these are backwards compatible with the first season. And again, it'd be cool to see if you could do the same with this, right? I mean, you get another human team. I kind of wish that they went different and gave you 2 of the other teams. So anybody that's bought the previous set now has 2 human teams and Skaven and Dwarves. But it'd be cool to see if you could put, pit Skaven against Dwarves, or, Humies versus Humies. Again, I would have liked to see something a little different. Maybe, Dwarves versus Skaven, or not Dwarves because it's already come out, but say like Wood Elves versus Skaven, or Dark Elves versus Skaven, or, any other of the numerous armies that Age of Sigmar or the Blitz Bowl universe, Blood Bowl universe has to offer. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Interesting to see that these are still popular. I know they petered out for a while. There's been a couple more releases that I've seen at my local Barnes & Noble, but nothing really of note or interest. There was another version of kind of a survival tower defense game where you were some Space Marines and you just got flooded on by orcs. I don't know the name of it, but I didn't pick that one up because it was all chits and 4 Marines that stood in the middle of the board. So I wasn't really interested in that one per se, but these are going to be, I almost guarantee these are going to be $50 a piece. And it'll be interesting to see, if they're popular, if it brings in as much people as I hope it does. I mean, even if they're not as standalone titles, I think the best 2 are going to be the Lost Relics and the Blitz Bowl, just for value. But time will tell. It'd be interesting to see what happens. At any rate, if you like the video or you like the little news feeds, feel free to let me know. If you don't like the videos or you don't like the little news feeds that I do occasionally, also let me know. I'm happy to get any and all form of feedback as long as it's constructive. And until next time, friends, play it safe and keep slapping paint.